The ISIS graphic novel Indiegogo is live. Help me publish the first comic book featuring the goddess next door by putting in a pledge today. Last week I picked up a Danny Phantom DVD box set off eBay, and after watching the first couple of episodes of Danny Phantom, I found it to be a fun show, and as I was watching Danny Phantom, I began to ask myself a critical question about Hollywood. Now, the movie studios, they're going to make a fourth overall Ghostbusters movie and a third Ghostbusters movie as related to the Ghostbusters franchise, but you have Danny Phantom, who already has a big following of kids online and a big following of young people who grew up with the Danny Phantom character, but no one wants to make anything as related to the Danny Phantom character. Now, Danny Phantom's premise is very similar to Ghostbusters, and I believe it would work well on the silver screen, whether in an animated movie that gives viewers a satisfactory close to the character's story, or a live-action film that introduces the next generation to this great character. I believe both of those concepts would do very well at the box office, but it doesn't seem like Hollywood's executives are focused on trying to capitalize on the Gen Y and Millennials and Generation Z who grew up watching Danny Phantom. No, they would rather continue to try to rehash old Gen X concepts like Ghostbusters for a third or fourth time instead of taking a risk on Danny Phantom and reaching all of those young fans out there who grew up with this character and love this character. Because from what I saw in several YouTube videos on Danny Phantom, Butch Hartman, the creator of Danny Phantom, wanted to do a fourth season. Unfortunately, Nickelodeon didn't want to do any more episodes even because it had met the 52 episode quota. And they didn't want to do the episodes in spite of this character being at the height of his popularity and seeming about ready to break through to become the next Power Rangers, or, ironically, the next Ghostbusters. So for me, I look at what they did with Danny Phantom, and it shows me how some Gen Xers are stuck in the past and how they can't see the big picture as related to the future. Yes, I love myself some He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, Voltron, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I also understand that the kids who grew up after me, they have a right to see their favorite characters like Gargoyles or characters that were reimagined like the Batman or Danny Phantom themselves. They have a right to see their favorite characters, and they have a right to see their favorite characters come to the silver screen. But because so many people are caught up in these old 1980s concepts, these characters can't get their chance to be shared by larger audiences because everybody from Gen X, as I see it, and baby boomers, they just want to continue remaking their characters over and over again. And this is one of the reasons why I believe Hollywood can't make any money at the box office, is because they keep making the same characters over and over, rehashing the same stories over and over, instead of trying something new with characters that other generations have enjoyed and other generations have taken the time to make their fan favorites. As a Gargoyles fan myself, I get really annoyed because this was one of the best cartoons Disney ever made, and it never really got any sort of support. Gargoyles had a big fan following, and still they're doing conventions with Gargoyles in the same way we have Danny Phantom fans out here. They're out there and they love this character, and we want to see our characters come to the screen and get an opportunity with a movie, or in some cases, like in the case of Danny Phantom, I believe that they would make a lot of money if they did a real satisfactory finale, because again, people wanted to see this character one more time. They wanted to see it in a bigger, expanded project like a feature film, but they never got that chance, and that's something that I just find to be irritating. You want to make a fourth Ghostbusters movie, you want to make another Rush Hour, you want to make another Aliens, you want to make another Terminator, you want to make all of these old 80s properties over and over and over again, but you don't want to touch any of the iconic 90s properties or the properties that really were great from the 2000s, like your Danny Phantom, like your Static Shock, and many other great, fun Saturday morning cartoons. You don't want to touch any of that stuff. You just want to keep making stuff from the 80s. Now, again, I'm a guy who grew up in the 80s, but I also understand that other people from other generations, they need to have an opportunity to see their stuff too. And their stuff is great, their stuff is fun, and people need to give their stuff a chance and not just think everything is all about the 80s, because everything wasn't all about the 80s as I see it. When I see great stuff, I want to share it with other people, and I want other people to enjoy it. And I would love to see somebody start talking about making some movies out of some of these 90s properties, these 2000s properties, and 2010s properties, because those kids from those generations, one of the reasons why they are not going to the movies, one of the reasons why they are tuning out, is because they don't see themselves on the silver screen. They don't see their experiences on the silver screen. They don't see their stories being told on the silver screen. And that's something that Hollywood isn't thinking about, because Hollywood, as I see it these days, has tunnel vision, and we have all these old people still trying to bring back their old favorites and not thinking about the favorites of the past generation. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the Spinsterella trilogy, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam: The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of E-Steam: The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today.